Okay, you guys, here's round two. I'm going to give it a go. Oh, there's my icon person. Okay, let's try Jess. Maybe I'll get Jess on this time. Yay!
Hey! Yay!
Oh my gosh, Jess, I'm so sorry. My little icon went away. Now it's back up. So let me get Miss Terry on. And while we're waiting, I know you're not feeling good. Everybody, Jess is kind of not under the weather, but tell everybody, give us a little bit of your background, and then I'll get Terry on.
Sure, absolutely. So, my name is Jess Hughes. I'm an abstract artist first and foremost, and I found myself starting art business coaching and media visibility coaching just over a year ago. And that is how I met Jeanette and Terry. They're clients of mine and totally phenomenal people. But I'm also a mother of seven. And so I'm currently in New York City with my oldest who's having surgery and juggling all the things. But I'm super glad to be here today and talk about media and visibility and the incredible power of what that can do for giving us exposure, pushing the hot button on our visibility mindset. Like, are we able to be seen and heard for our authentic self? And, how that can rapidly transform our inner world and it can rapidly grow our business and our audience. So that
So,
is my experience.
and why I'm trying to get her on. Our first question was, you talk a lot about this, what it truly means to step into courage with your
Yes.
art. Can you
Yep.
explain that a little more?
Absolutely. So I think courage um, really is a result of, like, I follow Brene Brown, and she talks about vulnerability being an essential part of being courageous. And so, if you think about our brain, it is always trying to keep us comfortable. Even if we're in a negative situation, it wants us to keep, stay in that comfort zone. And so anything that, where we step into courage with fear in the passenger seat, we are outside our comfort zone, and that is where growth happens. And so when we take risks as painters and creators and artists, we really become more deeply connected to the art that we create. And it's really all about connection. What is your risk capacity and tolerance when it comes to creating? Is perfectionism inhibiting or blocking the creative process?
Yeah, which we're not being perfect today. I'll tell
Yeah.
you, we are not.
You want me to see if I can try and get her to join as well? I don't.
Yeah, see if you can. Terry, try requesting to join. It's not letting me add you as a participant. I'm gonna keep trying to invite you, but the other thing is just why I'm trying to invite her.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yay!
here.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, this is an
Fantastic.
example of what not to do when you go live for beginners, but it actually maybe like you said, it reinforces people going live and trying to make this work. It's the first time
Absolutely.
we've done 3 people, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Terry. So glad to be here with you guys.
So glad to have you. I could hear you guys talking a little bit as I was still trying to get on. So I know you're not feeling well, so jump back in right where you were and we'll take off from there.
okay, well, she kind of answered our first question, but my big question for Jess is, I don't know if many people watching know her story, but she has had 3 different art businesses. And jump in, Jess, if I'm not saying this right. And she said there was a couple points in time where you felt like the things started to gel when you're talking about connections. One was, you said you switched to abstract art. You started to be more vulnerable on your posting, and you did the media. So
Right.
my question was, when was like your first painting sale after you made that switch? How long did it take? And kind of
Yeah.
like, if you could talk to that a little bit more specifically, and how you felt during that time, because a lot of us obviously are still trying to make it. So we haven't
Yeah.
really hit it yet. So we'd love to
Yeah.
hear that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it goes back into COVID, and I was still working part-time, and it was the summer of 2020, July and August, where I really was introduced to being motivated to take the risk with abstract art, really because I was so tired of being caught in that perfectionism. It's such a nasty little thing that resurfaces all the time. And I found such incredible freedom when I finally let loose and just stopped caring about the outcome. Really went
Yeah.
enjoying the process. And I realized how badly I wanted to just paint for the rest of my life, be a painter and give this my full all out commitment no matter what. And so without a safety net or anything, I took the leap and started painting full time. I quit my part-time job in September of 2020. And what I found was that getting up at 7 in the morning, I would go and I would paint all day, every day. And I was involved with a group of artists then and really realized the power of story, how important it is that we are connected to our art in a real, authentic way and sharing who we are as human beings. That those connections really are, people buy the artist, not the art. And so all the hype around Instagram. So I reopened my Instagram and I had about 300 people following. And I just started sharing the process of the emotional roller coaster I was going through as I was painting all day, every day, the ups and the downs, the loving it when I started, hating it when it just wasn't beautiful, and it really was a metaphor for my inner world, the up and down of the emotions. Because for anyone new that doesn't know me, I am about 5 years in recovery from addiction. And so being able to create in that uninhibited way where you lose sense of time, you lose sense of reality, like it is like the healthiest way to have that mood altering, sensation. And so painting all day, but it brought up so many emotions. And, I really left my life 5 years ago to start over as a single mom of 7. And it's been quite the journey. And what I found was pouring all that out onto canvas, and beginning to tell the story of what it was like that, hey, everyone, I have this thing to admit, I'm in recovery. And people started reading. I started gaining more followers just through that willingness to be a little bit more vulnerable and open up a little bit more and more and share the art. The story didn't always match the art, but I was sharing that. And it opened up the doorway to possibility. And I started selling about 4 weeks in. So I was painting full time 4 weeks in and sold the first painting. And it was because someone resonated with the emotion in the painting.
Okay.
I was
Because
really thinking.
that's hard to get. When I was first starting, Jess, I would post and then write about the thing I was posting instead of, posting and showing an image, but then telling a story besides. So I think that's really important for us starting out. It's hard to do that, really.
Yeah, it really, really.
And I wrote down that you just said the story didn't match the art.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's big for us as beginners, because I came into it thinking that it did have to match, and that if it didn't match, something was wrong, right? But always how we feel, I want to paint joy, but sometimes I don't feel joy. I have to find joy, and then the joy comes from the doing, right? But it doesn't always match, and that's good. That's a very good. I wrote that down. I'm going to put that as in my little comment things I read.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that was a good one.
But how life parallels the creative process is what I really found myself talking about more and more. And, that doesn't always, it wasn't about matching or being this perfectly curated Instagram feed. It was about really putting myself out there because I was jumping all in, like full commitment to do this thing, and that's a very different kind of mindset than when you've got to put food on the table, by selling paintings. It was like, all right, I'm going all in on what's working. And about 3 months in, I found myself in a media program, and I just thought, well, I'll sign up for this challenge. It's free. Maybe I'll get comfortable on camera, because at that point I was terrified of the camera. I was terrified of all of this. And I thought maybe that'll help me come out of my shell. And then I shared my story in that kind of container of that group, and someone asked me to be on a podcast, and that's when it really began. And that's when I found the power of story and being radically courageous in stepping into these situations that I'd never been in before. And what that resulted in was deeper and deeper connections with people that were total strangers, who were coming to buy my work. And I found it was a lot of fun. So there's so much power.
So about 4 weeks in, and it was 4 months when you said you sold your first painting, or it was 4 months to the media?
It was 4 weeks to the first sale, and then
Okay.
it was 3 months to the media experience.
And then it kind of took off. But did you have the courage to go all in because you had done these 3 art businesses before?
When my life
Was-
kind of burned to the ground 5 years ago, that is such a way for, when you have a really big problem, there are really big solutions that kind of, it's directly proportional sometimes. And I really knew it was clarifying from a priority standpoint. Like, I realized image doesn't matter. The stuff that so much of this culture values, trying to twist and contort and spin an illusion of someone we're not, didn't result in a good ending for me. And so it was really about, am I willing to be radically honest in the way I live in all things? And my answer was yes. And that really carried over into my willingness to be, to look at failure as a learning experience. It's either learn or win. And I think that mindset, anybody can really get in that headspace where you're like, there's no other way. I'm committed to this business. It's do or die. I am not going to go get a full-time job somewhere and want to, I've tried.
I love that you said it's not fail. You just said you learn or you succeed. So you either learning something or you are successful, but there's no failing.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely. I really believe everything is working in my favor at all times, no matter what adversity comes up. I've had some really low moments in the creation of this business, and it was just, where's the silver lining? What's the learning experience? That was really painful. We know we're not going to do that again. And how grateful am I that I learned that early on in the company as opposed to later. And being able to just spin it, reframe the perspective all the time, so that I am always looking towards growth and opportunity, no matter what is actually happening. Because coming from that employee mindset where you're used to consistent money, it's so different as an entrepreneur. And I think it's important for artists to understand that there is startup costs involved. There is investing in yourself to be able to learn anything. And that's what both of you did by participating in the Media Accelerator. You weren't buying my course, you were investing in yourselves and the future of your business. And that then it's like leaping into, okay, this is going to be a roller coaster of cash flow, and it's going to be a journey, and how much fun can I have in the process?
Absolutely. And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you want to talk about a little bit about what's coming up, or do you want to, because I do have one more question for you.
Sure. So I have everything in my link in my profile is up there. I have a free gift for people who are interested in learning how to do a virtual art show. That download is in there. I have information about the membership, the High Vibe Badass Artist Tribe for female artists and creatives is in there. And I have the waiting list for the Media Accelerator program that's going to be opening up really soon, like in the next few weeks. I'll be doing a workshop or masterclass or something like that to open doors to start that this fall. And I'm so excited about that as well. So everything's in my bio for people to go check out if they're interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we talk for a second though, a little bit more about how awesome this media course is that you put together from, you know, all of your knowledge and all of your experience? And I just remember, you know, I joined the group, the small group, kind of the funnel group of where you were giving us information, you know, small pieces of information about what the bigger, you know, workshop was going to be about. And I just remember wanting to do it and being afraid and just thinking like, well, especially for me, because I'm a newer artist coming into my career, and feels so crazy to say career, but it's exciting. But I just felt like I just kind of dismissed it of like, well, I'm not ready. You know, I'm learning my style. I don't need to be in media. I want to be in media, and I was talking myself out of it. And you literally reached out to me like, and said, you need to do this. Like you totally, and that push got me to do it. And so I just want to say, as people go and check out the, you know, the stuff that you just said leading up to taking that course, don't let fear stop you, because I went into it thinking like, maybe I'm not going to use all of the information right now, but I want to have it so that as those opportunities arise, I know how to handle them. I know how to address them. I know what to say, how to say it. The course that you put together far exceeded my expectations. And that is rare in the world today, right? I mean, usually you get things and you're like, well, that sucked. That wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. Not what you did. It is absolutely. I still haven't gone through everything in it, and I will at my own pace, but that's the beauty of it. And so, you know, thank you for the time and the effort that you put into putting all of your brain into that Kajabi. Is that where we are still? Kajabi.
Yeah.
I don't know if you moved from that, but yeah. So if anyone's considering it, like just take the leap, and the info will guide you all through, I think, our career.
Yeah.
And I'll say that's how Terry and I met. Was
Yeah.
through your media course. And that's why we started doing these lives, as
Yeah.
imperfect as they are and how untechnical I am to get people on the lives. But that's how we started, and you are so positive, and the information, like Terry said, it's all there. So you give us everything we need to start getting our word, our space out into the media. And you are very good at coaching us to take the imperfect action in all your Q&As that you do with us. And so anyways, that's why we're doing these lives, by the way, is because of you.
I know.
I love it.
And not only is it information, but I think for me, the two biggest things that I took away from the course is the friendship that, you know, and we've been growing and talking, and I didn't have any art friends before I took the course. I actually took the course thinking they're all going to know I'm a fraud and everyone's going to be, you know, like it was so not that. But the second thing that I took away was that just you in the Zooms that we did with you, your whole thing is that we're worthy. You know, we're worthy to be in the media, and that our story, our journey is worthy to be heard and worthy to be shared. And that, I think we have to have that before we can actually put ourselves out into the media. We have to believe.
100,000%. I really believe, I mean, this is my vision, that, you know, it's that abundance mindset, that there's more than enough opportunities for everyone, but it's really understanding like the shift in the world that's taking place right now. People are in scarcity, people are in fear. Like what you focus on is magnified, and that if there is going to be change in the world, I really believe now is the time for the artists, the healers, the creatives, the passionate feelers of the world to have that bigger megaphone and tell their story, promote what they're doing. It's about impacting others' lives, and in the process you transform into this bigger version of yourself from stepping into the courage, because everybody has a story. And I believe that creative genius is inherent, like it's built in, it's installed in every person. And I love, Terry, that you are a self-taught brand new artist, because that's some of the most inspiring stories out there. Because how many people like write off their life? Well, I didn't accomplish X, Y, and Z by the time I'm 25 or 35 or 40, and they then watch the news and numb out and scroll social media, and no one's ever ready to take that first step into reaching for the bigger thing, getting clear. What is it? There's this bigger thing I'm called to do. And so the media is really about empowering you with the mindset and all the skill set to empower you to take that megaphone and use it for the rest of your career, because it can be used for good when you are out there in a confident way, sharing of yourself and not needing anything back in return. And that detachment brings you everything. It brings you the people, it brings you the sales, and it can take a long time or it can take a short time, but it's really it's why I'm so passionate about it. It really
you also make us see the value in each and every one of our stories, because we're all different. But I think you're very encouraging on that, to keep us going and to know that there is value in every one of our experiences, because they're all different, and how that comes out through our art. So I love that encouragement as well that you give us. And I want to talk a little bit, one of the things in your course that really helped me was the mindset piece. And I'm still working on that and doing the exercises you gave us. So I also love that part of it, because it's not just about getting on camera and getting in media, but you do a lot of that, that mindset.
Well, I think that's the most important thing, and most people don't value that. But it comes down to, like, we're in information overload. There are so many people teaching tutorials, just the how-to, the tactics, the here's the formula, follow this, this, and this, and it'll guarantee success, and get rich schemes all over the place. But unless you believe you can do it, unless you value your own story and the work that you create, and understand that your unique, energetic, everything, your signature is unique to you. No one's lived your life experience and has your perspective. And when you're able to speak about that and shift people's beliefs and behavior, I mean, it's really about transformation. And I love it so much, because I've become a completely different person in the 18 months that I've being on national TV for 43 million people, like that was terrifying. And,
I can't imagine.
Do I believe in myself? It comes down to that mindset. Do I believe in myself, and am I willing to show up on camera and be me? So that's the hidden gem in that, is the personal transformation for people.
Well, and the fact that you showed up as you, with your story, with your megaphone, and then look what happened, because people bought into who you were as a person and your journey. And that's, again, it just all goes, it keeps coming back full circle to, we all have a story that will resonate with someone out there, and that can be used to encourage, inspire, and give hope where there might not be any at that moment, right?
Absolutely. We're in a mental health epidemic, that really is the big thing. And the therapeutic value, I remember with my first beta group of Media Accelerator clients, and someone said, well, my message is so similar to yours. I feel like therapeutic art is the message. And I said, well, awesome. I mean, it's really about shifting into, like, we are united in a movement to get these powerful messages out there to help people feel better. The present moment is all we have. And, like, to give someone a gift of a paintbrush or clay or anything, it's like the keys to that time, that space where time and reality and stress falls away, and that outlet for any of the turmoil that we experience as human beings. Because
the part that you said that multiple people are doing it, but they're doing it in their own unique way. So you're going to connect with people. Like there's some people that obviously are going to connect with Jess, but then there's other people that are going to connect with the person, your student. So
yes, absolutely.
And it's like we all need that. We all need that encouragement and know that our value is there no matter, and that there's plenty out there for everybody. Although we're still learning that as we go.
Well, and I came from a career where it was very competitive. You know, it was meant to be positive, but it was still competitive, and that, you know, you were trying to be the number one person and there was only room for so many, right? And so coming into the art world, it's been so refreshing to come into your group and realize from your teachings and then from the people that I've had the experience of associating with, that there's room for all of us and that we are not in competition. We are in, what did you just say? You just said that we can come together. How many other people are painting for joy? I don't have the, you know, like I don't have the monopoly on joy painting, but we can all come together and imagine if we all put our joy together, how the world would change. Right. And we used it all instead of, no, it's all mine. And now I can't talk to you because you're doing joy and I want to do joy. And so we can't be friends anymore. You know what I mean? It's not like that. And it's such a positive experience. And your course helped facilitate that for me because that was my first, you know, jump into you guys as artists. And now I'm one of you. So it's,
Well, I think the unconscious programming that's in our mind is that it's scarcity. There's not enough to go around. And if someone is doing better, then they're taking clients away from you. Or the other thing that I'm really about disrupting is, because I'm like a, you know, sparkles and overalls happy disruptor. I want to disrupt.
I love that word.
The formula of you have to go to art school. You have to be shown in galleries, like this linear path before you can live in abundance and have money and exposure and all of that stuff. It's really about folding time and just stepping into believing and acting that anything is possible when you are committed to the work that you do and clear about your value. And so many artists don't realize that there is another path. Like I've chosen not to show in galleries right now. I love the online virtual space, and I've sold, you know, crazy amounts by just sharing on social media and mainstream media and TV, podcasts, all of it. It puts you in front of so many different, diverse audiences. And that's what I love. You know, it's just, it's meaningful in a way that overflows my heart, you know, and I want other artists to experience how delicious it can be when they're given permission. You know, how many of us wait for permission to be out of the box or to do it scared or do it imperfectly or risk failure, all that stuff. And it's like, yes, you have permission to do another path, and here's how. Like, you can do it with media. You can do it in virtual art show. You can do it in all these out of the box ways that get your work out there in a way that, you know, that narrow path is so restrictive. And I'm going to disrupt anything that feels tight and just, you know, elitist or traditional or anything like that.
Yes.
Well, and it shows in all your coaching, it shows us that, and we're both in your membership as well, which I think there's so many diverse artists and there's so many artists at different levels in your membership that I always get something out of those Q&As when you do them. But, and your media course so specifically did give us the tools that we needed and the encouragement to take the steps. So the membership is ongoing, giving me encouragement to keep doing this and acting perfectly, because that's how you are, and it bleeds off on us, and it makes us have more courage. But the media course also gives you everything you need to go, and then it's just having that confidence to tell your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make one point out because we have talked a lot about the Media Accelerator course. So just FYI, Jess did not request to come on here and talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that and sell that to you guys.
Oh yeah.
We feel so passionate about everything that it's brought into our life and and it hasn't even been that long. When did we start that? Like maybe 4 months ago, or I don't even,
February. I think it was February,
wow.
March.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that short amount of time, just the changes that we've seen in ourselves, in our art business, our confidence, our courage, just all of it. It was like, we got to have Jess on our podcast because we have to tell everybody how amazing and life-changing this is, to do. So it's not like just a plug for her course,
Right.
but
Right.
we highly suggest that you should, take
I
the
think
chance and try it. Yeah.
I think it's our excitement
For that.
showing, Terry, because of
Yeah,
what we learned.
of course.
And
Yeah,
it's so valuable.
Yeah, I so appreciate that. I really teach all of you that self-promotion is your responsibility, but like I still have work to do in that area too,
Yeah.
selling and serving. And I really want artists to also hear that mindset shift as well, because, it's so powerful when you understand that you have the ability to transform people's lives with the art that you create. And it's a total 180 flip from, the imposter syndrome that creeps in, or no one likes what I'm doing, I'm not making it, all that stuff that comes in. But
I think
We have a question. When does the next course start? Bonnie Ellis Art is asking, when is your next course?
yes, I am a little up in the air right now because of the situation with my son. Had a biking accident and has urgent surgery. So I'm up in New York City now. So I'm hoping that I can start in September because I'd love to be able to bring a group through in the fall, and then, we'll go from there. But
However, they could join in the meantime. They could join the High Vibe Badass Tribe group, right? And you also have a monthly membership that is available as well. So both of those things I would say jump into, because you're going to kind of get snippets of, what's coming in the larger course too.
right. I really created that membership because I had so many people come into the free visibility workshop that I gave to launch the Media Accelerator program. And then people are at different stages or financial, whatever. It's a big investment. And so it was like, well, how do I serve all the artists that still need support and teach them about the power of community and what visibility is, and how that is the number one foundation to sales. Because if our work doesn't speak for ourselves anymore, the world is too fast paced, and unless we really be intentional, that intention is so powerful about, stepping into greater visibility and advocating for ourselves and our work it's time for people to really step into their voice, to be seen and heard as their most authentic self. And it spills over into your relationships and friendships. And the other reason for the membership was courage is contagious. And when you put yourself in the middle of a community where people are doing it scared, they're feeling it there, doing it anyway, and that is contagious. It 100% is. And like right now we have a 30-day visibility challenge happening right now. And it's really, we're doing it as an experiment, like the daily action of being visible for 30 days. Like, let's see what happens, because the win is in that daily action of doing it scared, doing it when you're really uncomfortable. All that magic is on the other side of discomfort. And so I'm at a stage where I'm seeking failure. I'm looking for rejections. I'm looking for the no's, because, I know that I learn faster, and at least I'm taking that action to allow for the possibility of incredible opportunities happening, like in a big way. So
yeah, because the examples that you said, when you just be yourself, that's what is inspiring us. And also finding your story and you're just doing these things, and it's just so inspirational that you've gotten the success, you've gotten the media, and we know we can do it. And you're the imperfectness of it, and telling the story from your heart,
Yeah.
even though it's hard to do. I believe that's how you've connected with all of us.
Yep.
Mhm.
100%. That is where it's in our humanity that we connect with each other. It's not in this curated, my life is perfect Instagram feed that so many people put out there, because, you know, being included is a primal instinct that goes way back to caveman days. It really is a life or death response, survival instinct, that we are in the tribe, you know, we're in our tribe, and if we get kicked out to live out in the rainforest, we die alone, because humans need that connection and community.
Yeah.
Anything. And so I don't think people even realize why they're so afraid to go on camera and be seen like fumbling around. This is the first time I'm doing a live. You know, but you live and you're stronger on the other side of it. You're working that muscle of being courageous and getting comfortable doing things imperfectly. And that is incredibly powerful. And that is what I'm committed to more than anything, you know, is continuing to take action and reaching for the bigger thing with no limit.
Well, I love this comment by Jody Kincaid, studio. She's watching us. She said, Jess, you kill me. Seeking rejection. Who does that? She loves you, Jess.
Because you have to go through the no's to get the yeses. I mean, right?
And you never know who knows somebody. I mean, money
Right.
flows through people. Opportunities flow through other people. And, you know, I made a connection last fall with someone that works for the Drew Barrymore show. And it's been a no, but we DM, you know, I'm in communication with him. You never know when that no is going to be a yes. Sometimes it's not yet. So it's really about, I'm going to seek those rejections and make those connections and be grateful for it. You know, I think gratitude is it's the most powerful thing there is. And that's really a lot of the power of what I do, you know, even in the worst situations. It's like, well, there's going to be a silver lining that I'm going to be so grateful to have learned. And I'm just, you know, riding it out and not letting that mind run away with fear and anxiety and catastrophic thinking.
Yeah.
Well, we love talking to you, and our hearts are with you with your son, and I hope all that goes well and his recovery is good. And we'll be thinking about you, and like, you keep going, even though that's all going on, you still come. And
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on here and chatting with us, and just for your mentorship, your friendship, your love, your support, just all of it. It's such an honor and a privilege, and it's just amazing to be in your space. And I know Jeanette agrees.
Yes.
It's just, thank you.
Guys, you both have transformed so much. It's like watching flowers blossoming, and you know, that's why I do it. Really, it's about impact for me, and it's community. I created things that I wanted to be a part of, and for anybody wanting to create digital products, memberships, communities, programs, courses, I mean, that's what I say. Create something you want to be a part of, and that you serve the people you love. And like, the artists of the world have my heart, and it's really, you know, it's about looking towards that light and that beauty and that abundance all the time. And I know I need connection and community to stay on track with switching that perspective, because life is hard. It doesn't stop being hard. You know, being a six-figure whatever, it doesn't stop being difficult. That it's about, what do we choose to focus on in the moment and in the day-to-day life.
Well, love you.
Surround yourself with, like, it's an honor to be here with both of you. Like, you both are beacons of light, and it's so much fun to be a part of the conversation with you.
Well, just the
Thank
fact
you.
that you are helping us, and this is episode 4.
I
We've
love
only
it.
done 4 Instagram lives, and that you wanted to be here with us and show up for us with all your successes, and you still do that. That is showing why we love you, love your course, love your membership, and why we're here with you, because of how you are and your encouragement and encouraging us to be ourselves.
I love
It's
that.
huge. And
Your words match your heart. Your words and your actions match your heart and your intentions, and that means everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. That's what I strive for. You know, that's what I really, that was a recovery thing. You know, when my life fell to pieces, it was like, I want to be the kind of person whose actions and words are, you know, that's what integrity is, like the integration of what we say and what we do and where our heart is. And I am definitely not perfect, but I'm going to show up and keep trying.
hence the same with us, with our message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. This has been so much fun, and thank you to everyone who's watching. We've had a really great turnout, and I love
Yeah.
the chance to really look at Christy Kale's here. Thank you for the conversation. Jody, Bonnie.
So many people from our group.
So many people from our group. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys, for coming and watching and hanging with us.
I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
So excited, Jess, and tell them one more time where to find you if they don't know already.
Yeah, go to the link in my bio on my Instagram profile, and there is a free gift for anyone wanting to know how to do a virtual art show online. It's the simplest way. Hey, you want to buy my art? I'll send you a PayPal link. Like, it doesn't get easier than that. I love
And it's
teaching
so many people have had successes with that already. I haven't done one yet, but I'm getting up the courage.
Yeah. Well,
Imperfect action, Jeanette. Imperfect action.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, people have sold, like, Deanna's on here. She sold 12 paintings and has 3 commissions as a result of her first art show. So I was like, yay. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything's on that link, and people can email me if you want to too. I will respond. I'm still, you know, very much about the real connection, and yeah, it's been great to be here.
Okay, good. Well, our heart goes out with you, and thank you for doing the live with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't feel better and be with your son.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
and we're
right.
going to do another one in a couple weeks. And we were also excited because we have a new name called.
We do.
Yeah,
I love
tell them
your
what
name.
it is, Terry.
If this canvas could talk, it would say many, many, many things, and we'll tell you as we go through each episode.
Okay, Jess, thank you. Yeah, feel better. Hope
Yep,
you get
I
some
will.
rest.
I will, absolutely. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Love you
for
too.
coming in.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Jeanette.
Bye. Bye, Terry. See you later.
Okay.